everyone, it's Helen here, your Unit Coordinator. I'm just going to go through the rubric information for Assignment 1B, which is our oral presentation and learning plan, just so you can get a greater understanding of how to write your assignment to the rubric. So the purpose of your rubric, it's a great tool not only for us as teachers because it sets up the criteria for grading your assignments, but it's so important for you as students as well because it defines what you need to be doing in your assignment and what is expected of you as a student in order to get a particular grade. So let's explore the type of rubric that we're going to be using for the learning plan to start with. So here we go. The learning plan is a holistic rubric. So by that I mean it's a building block kind of a rubric. So you can see the image there where you've got the red block for the pass, then you build up to your credit, then you go to your distinction, and then you go to your high distinction. So within those blocks, I guess, there are marks that you will receive as to how well you have addressed the criteria in regards to those rubric requirements. So really make sure that you read the marking criteria carefully. You're told where your marks are, so you shouldn't have a shock when it comes. And just make sure that you're really aligning your writing with your holistic rubric. So let's have a bit of a closer look. So if you have a look there at our pass descriptor, you can see a pass is 50 to 59, a credit is 60 to 69, a distinction is 70 to 79, and a high distinction is 80 to 100. So if you start with your pass descriptor, just be aware that all aspects of the task must be completed and the work must be your own, except when you've cited the works of others. And you need to make sure that the requirements of all the criteria have met a satisfactory level in regards to the statements that you can see on the right-hand side there. So if we go through those, you will see the first one talks about the learning activity plans, provides a clear introduction, what will be done during the activity and how the activity will be concluded. So basically there you need to make sure that you have the three elements included in your learning plan. So you need to make sure you've got your introduction, your body and your conclusion. So that's three there. If you've done that, fantastic, you can tick it off. The next one is about the focus concepts, and we're going to explore those a little bit more as we go through our readings and in the collaborate session as well. Make sure that you not have only just identified the focus concept, but you've also defined it, and that's where you would use your citations there as well and draw on your research. So for example, if you're using a learning plan to do with phonological development, you would not only just state that, but you would also define that and what does that mean. The next one talks about the activity and resources or props are selected are focused on spoken language and appropriate in the context of the Australian early childhood education and the age group. So remember, we're looking at early childhood, so you want to make sure that your learning plan is appropriate for the age group that you are looking at. Please don't put in a learning plan that's going to be something that you would aim at grade 3. That's not going to work. And make sure that we're looking at our spoken language as well, which comes into those language components that we spoke about in your focus concepts. And then we've got an attempt has been made to align to the EYLF, and that's our standard curriculum document that we're using in this unit. And we're looking for an attempt there. So you've pulled out some descriptors, you've had a go at describing them and aligning them. And then the ideas of others' works have been indicated through attempts at APA referencing. We're not expecting you to be experts at this straight away, so just be aware that that's an attempt there and you're giving it a go, you're trying. There is lots of information in the portal, so have a look at that. Hopefully that will be able to support you more there. And then we're looking to make sure that the writing is generally free from spelling and grammatical errors. So we're looking for that academic writing there. We're making sure that you're really starting to know how to write your assignments. Then as we move to the credit, you can just see that it's just starting to, I guess, get a little bit, we're looking for a little bit more. So we're looking for a strength-based approach. We're looking for readings and additional literature. We're looking to make sure you've adhered to the word count, even though we'd be looking for that in your pass as well. And we're looking to make sure that you've mostly got your correct APA conventions going in your credit descriptor. Then as you go to do your distinction, you can see it gets a little bit more. We're looking for a little bit more in regards to what you're including in your lesson plan. We're looking for thorough proofreading. We're making sure that you have provided the correct citation. We're making sure that you've got a meaningful lesson plan, that it's not just something that you've just pulled out of the hat, but you've really tried to think about how it aligns with the focus concept and with your age group there. So remember that these are all building on that first pass descriptor. So you need to make sure, all those standard statements you have done. And then if you want to be getting a credit distinction or high distinction, then you're building on those. So that's adding more to it, okay? So that's how that works in regards to your learning plan. And like I said, we're not expecting you to be aiming really, really high, but this is just so that you get an idea of what the rubric requirements are and how you can build on your pass descriptor in order to get a higher grade, so your credit, your distinction, your high distinction. So that's your learning plan. Now the second part of this assignment is your oral presentation. And the oral presentation is 5 minutes plus or minus 1 minute, and your weighting is 20% there. So there's some information there, and I'm not going to read it all in regards to your oral presentation. So I do get a lot of questions, and I will clarify in regards to how do I make my learning plan into an oral presentation. Basically, you're expanding on your learning plan. So you're giving more detail, because your learning plan, you actually don't have a lot of word count there to get across what you are trying to plan or what you're trying to do. But in your oral presentation, you're expanding on that. You're describing, you're giving a bit more information in regards to what's happening in your learning plan, what the teacher's doing, what the children are doing. You've got your clear introduction, body and conclusion. You've defined and used those citations for your focus concept. And you've got a really clear conclusion for your presentation. So you're summing it up and you're bringing it right back to your focus concept. So hopefully that helps a little bit in regards to that. So the rubric for the oral presentation is a little bit different. It's more like an analytical rubric actually, because you can see there that we've got some criterion along the side, and then we've got 0, 1, 2, 3 points in regards to what we hear when we're marking the oral presentation. So we're looking again for a clear introduction to the presentation, that the concepts selected are accurately described, how the concepts are intended to be taught and learned through the learning activity is explained well. So we're really interested to know how you're going to use your lesson to make sure that the students are going to learn something from it. And it's not just that tokenistic lesson which I spoke about previously. The choices for the decisions made in the learning plan are explained well, and you've got a really clear conclusion. So we look at what you have, well, we don't look, we listen to what you've done in your oral presentation, and then we assign a grade according to those criterion. So that's the first criterion, and the second criterion looks at communication skills. Now these are really important as a teacher. So we're looking that your voice is clear, your tone is varied and energetic, your language choice is appropriate, your information is clearly communicated, and your length of your presentation is within the assigned time limits, and that's really important as well. I really want to, I guess, be really clear in regards to this criterion, because communication skills for teachers are so important. We have to make sure that we are varied in our tone, we're energetic, we are trying to engage our students, engage the parents that are going to be our target audience. They don't want to turn up to a presentation and listen to someone who's just going to be talking the same way the whole time. So try and look to change your tone, have a bit of a practice, make sure you're clear, your voice is audible, it's clear. When you're doing a recording, make sure you haven't got any background noise like your dog barking or your kids screaming or anything like that. That's really important. And just make sure that you've got a nice flow and you're really clear in how you present, because that's really important as a teacher, and that's something that you will build on as you can go through not just this unit but also our other education units. Please note that there's no opportunity to resubmit this assignment. I get this question a lot. Remember, it is your first assignment and many of you are first years, so you may be a little bit disappointed to start with, but in this first assignment, there is no opportunity to resubmit. So please don't email your ELAs and ask for this to happen, because it can't happen. It's university rules. We can't, unfortunately, allow you to resubmit this assignment. So just make sure that you're really going through your rubric, you're making sure that you know what's expected, and you're building on each of those building blocks in your learning plan, and you're looking at your rubric for your oral presentation. Best of luck. I know you'll be fantastic, and I hope that this video has helped to explain just a little bit more about how the rubrics relate to each assignment. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.